This is Sacred Unfiltered, where the soul gets hurt. Every story, every scar, every unspoken word. We get to the root, we rise from the dirt. Real truths, no agenda, just lessons that work. It's more than a show, it's a mirror. Reflection getting clearer. If it's real, it belongs right here. No fear, just spirit, just hear her. Sacred Unfiltered. Say what you feel, don't hide. It's love, it's truth, it's healing time. Where your voice aligns. This is Sacred Unfiltered.
Welcome back to Sacred Unfiltered. Hi, I'm Genesis, the Rebel PK. I am also known as your unconventional church girl. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for coming back, and thank you for holding space. Shout out to the SU crew, my day ones. And if you are listening for the very first time, thank you for tapping into this safe space. Be sure that you follow the show, leave a rate, leave a review if you're listening by way of podcast streaming platforms. And if you're listening by way of YouTube, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. All right, so let me just be real with y'all, because that's the only way I know how to be. Last week, I stepped back because November is just hard for me. Since 2017, it's my dad's birthday month, but it's also the month that we lost him. And so that weight just kind of shows up whether I am ready or not. And you guys gave me the grace to take time and address my feelings and grieve. Now, this week, I was ready to record, and then my MacBook died. My MacBook died, y'all. MacBook died. My MacBook will not power on, and I have to get a brand new one. So episode 6 is not dropping today because I'm stuck in grief. I'm here. I'm ready. It's simply because technology has failed me at the worst time possible. But what I was not going to do was leave you guys with 2 empty weeks back to back. Sacred and Unfiltered is just way too important to me. It's important to us for silence to become the default. So today is not a full episode, but it is not a throwaway either. Let's just call it a moment of grounding. A moment of grounding before we go deeper. I think I like that. That's what we're going to call it. Episode 6 is not just something that you casually drop on a Thursday. It's not a throw it together and hope for the best type of conversation. It is truly the kind of episode that requires you to be emotionally steady, spiritually anchored, and mentally clear. Because what we're about to unpack, it just touches places a lot of us have never said out loud. When you start talking about grooming in the Black church, you're touching power structures that people still protect. You're touching stories that people were told to leave in God's hands. You're touching wounds that many of us learned to normalize because everybody else acted like it was just part of church culture. This is not surface level content, okay? This is excavating. This is digging. This is pulling up the roots of things that we did not even realize were shaping our self-worth and our relationship with God. And then episode 7 is our sexuality conversation. And that within itself is its own kind of holy ground, because we're not just talking about acts. We're talking about the shame that we inherited. We're talking about the sermons that made us afraid of our own bodies. We're talking about the whispers, the judgment, the double standards, the way that our desires were demonized but never explained. We're talking about the parts of us that we learned to hide even from ourselves. And so those episodes deserve a host that is fully present, not frustrated, not recording through panic because my laptop died. It deserves intention. They deserve reverence. They deserve truth. So this pause is not backing up. We're not backing up. We're not stopping. We're just trying to align ourselves and truly, truly give space for the conversations, because the truth is we're stepping into conversations that the Black church has historically avoided, not because they are irrelevant, but because they're uncomfortable. They expose the cracks in the system. They tell the truth about the things that happen behind spiritual language, leadership titles, and worship experiences. When we talk about grooming We're talking about the moments where trust was stretched past its proper place. We're talking about the way that submission is twisted into silence. We're talking about the leadership that we obeyed because we were told it was God's order, the blurred boundaries that shape our understanding of authority, the ways that our innocence was discipled into vulnerability. And the hardest part is most of us did not have the language for it then. You know, we were children being asked to interpret adult behavior and then hold ourselves accountable for the fallout. And when we step into conversations about sexuality, we stepping into the battlefield between holiness and humanity. We're stepping into the shame that many of us feel in our bodies, not because of sin, but because of someone else's theology. We're stepping into conversations where the church told us who to be, but never taught us how to understand ourselves. We're confronting shame, labeled as conviction, desire, labeled as rebellion, orientation, labeled as confusion, curiosity, labeled as sin, purity, framed as the only proof of worthiness, and pleasure, treated like something God never created. These are conversations that require backbone and compassion at the same damn time. Hey, these are conversations that require truth and tenderness in equal measure. And I want to walk into them with the weight that they deserved and not tossed together because my equipment failed. I don't want to rush into the kind of conversations that people have been waiting decades to hear spoken with honesty. So here's where I am today. I'm grateful for the slowdown. I'm grateful for the pause. I'm grateful that God keeps reminding me that truth is not something that you rush into. Healing is not something that you sprint through. And this platform, Sacred and Unfiltered, y'all know we're not built on perfection. We're built on honesty. We're built on letting the light hit the places that we used to cover. So stay with me, stay open, stay ready for where we're headed next because these upcoming conversations, they are not easy, but they are necessary. And we're going to walk through them together. We're going to walk through them together. Make sure that you're following Sacred and Unfiltered on social media, Instagram and TikTok at Sacred and Unfiltered. Rate, share, subscribe. Every bit of support helps this space grow. New episodes drop every Thursday at 2:13 p.m. for you podcast listeners and 7 p.m. for you YouTube viewers. I will see you guys next Thursday when we start uncovering the things that many of us have carried in silence for too long. Until next time, stay sacred, stay unfiltered.